How you doing? I'm DJ Jazzy Jeff. Welcome to the Playlist Podcast. I got 4 of the world's greatest DJs with me. My brother Scratch Bastard, my sister Nina Las Vegas, my other sister Jubilee, and my brother the Hooligan. How you guys enjoying the week?
I mean, it's hard to reflect while you're actually in it, I think. It's great, but just saying it's great would be selling it cheap. I think I've been here 4 years now, and you just never fully, totally calculate what's going on until you're after. Maybe on the plane ride home, or even the drive to the airport, where you're like, damn, this happened. I was DJing with Bumpy Knuckles. I didn't know Bumpy Knuckles was a DJ. Or like you see someone with this extraordinary talent that you never met before, and you're like, you just can't wait to stay in touch with them, or you catch up with old friends. It's just from all angles, it's just such an overwhelmingly awesome experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's my first time, and I came from Australia, so there's so many elements that are new for me. Like, we don't have hip hop culture, obviously, like Americans do.
Yeah.
So like that side of it has been really new because I kind of roll with a new wave.
Yeah.
So like kind of hearing the jam sessions and seeing the studios and watching people play, like, I mean, I don't think I've ever been in a place where there's been so many amazing musicians ever. And that's not because we don't have them. It's just like literally there's probably only 10. And our music culture is generally new. So like what you hear about Australian stuff is probably only in the last 20 or 30 years.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we're always making music, but in a different way. So yeah, I really don't know if anyone would have a hip hop Australian
retreat.
I mean, there's some really good Australian rappers.
I would like to go to that if there is one.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
I think you'd all walk out, to be honest.
I'm thinking the same thing Scratch said. Like, I haven't really processed anything because I haven't really gotten much sleep. And I've kind of just been doing so much and talking to so many people that, like, but if I, like, update myself on it when I sit down, I'm like, wait, did I just DJ in front of, like, every DJ I used to go see in New York? Like,
and make a song with Ronnie Size.
Yeah, I just made a song with Ronnie Size. Like if I that CD didn't leave my car for like a year. It was like that CD that like sat in my car on. So like that is so weird. And like Z-Trip coming up to me and being like, whoa, I love this song, and it's my song. Like, there's like people I've paid to see. I a lot of money.
Like when I was at the radio, Z-Trip came over and I did a whole bunch of tags for him like 10 years ago. And the first thing he said when he saw me was like, oh, we should update them. I'm like, well, I'm here. I'm like, he's like, okay, yeah, all right, Zach, see you later.
Yeah, it's pretty like, but like I said, like, I think not until somebody goes, how was it? And I have to say it all out loud.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I'm going to be like, what did I just do?
Yeah, no, same. Like being here for 4 years, I'm just like so grateful and honored to be here. And it's like every single year I've had to like bounce to Paris or bounce to some tour or bounce somewhere. So it's like you never really have that time to like go home and sit and like process it. And so I'm super excited
But this year you do.
Yeah, I get to go home. I get to go to Brooklyn. I get to just chill.
Listen
and, like,
to all the music.
Yeah, listen to all the music and like my pace and just kind of like chill and really embrace all that kind of went on.
Yeah.
And it's dope. Yeah.
And you said the 4 years. It's interesting. What do you think has changed over the 4 years, or what has grown, or what has enhanced, in your opinion?
I think just like my personal evolution, I think coming into an environment like this, you really have to open yourself up and accept like what's all that you know and all that you don't, and I think that's the beauty of it as well. Is like 4 years ago I didn't know as much as I did about the business or about music in general, production or
DJing,
even like you would think 4 years ago, like, oh yeah, I'm like a seasoned touring vet, whatever. But like 4 years ago, I had the knowledge that I have now, and even just watching the panel from yesterday, I'm like, wow, I had no idea like that was so important. That one minor thing of, of drinking 4 ounces of coconut water retains your, keeps you juicy, like she said. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, I thought it was just all water.
I have it on my rider.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like,
You know what I
and have
mean?
it for the next day.
Yeah, now it's like just little tidbits like that. I think just I've allowed myself to really just accept where I'm at and
Sure.
and learn from the greats and my homies
And you've definitely, from my experience, I've always taken something with me. Like I say, I always leave inspired, and then
for sure.
humbled or insignificant in some way too. Or,
Yeah, absolutely.
Insignificance is a strong word, but it's like you kind of feel like, damn,
Yeah.
I really got to step my game up, and
Yeah.
in a good way. You feel.
I mean, when we were rocking like a couple nights ago, like Scratch was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep, do my thing. I was like, yeah, get your rest. And then Caper and I just went in and started working with the rain joints, and Scratch Bassett just phantomly appeared again. He just like popped up in the smoke. It was like, and like we just had like a 2-hour session,
Yeah,
and
B2B.
and like I'm like obviously such a huge fan, but we're also friends. So watching his videos and then seeing it live, and then he's actually like, here, try this, do this, like just.
Yep.
I'm like, well, I'm not, he's like, just do it, just see what happens. And I was literally like, it was almost like I was blindfolded. I was like, shh, shh, shh. And he was like, you got it, like that was it. And he like playing songs that he hasn't heard, and doing routines that I've never been exposed to. It was just that was it right there.
Yeah,
Like
just
that was that connection.
sharing things.
That's, I mean, it's funny because when this whole concept was born at Three Style, that the first couple of Three Styles were, the judges would be there all week, but the contestants, or the special guests would kind of come in for a day and leave. And I think the first time that we all stayed together, I want to say it was in Toronto, that we were there for the
Yeah, I
whole
was
week.
at that one.
And it was just kind of like,
Yeah.
the conversations were different, because you don't really get into the deep conversation the first night.
Right.
Yeah.
So by night 3, everyone started talking, and you tell the good stories, you tell the bad stories. Oh man, have you heard this? Have you gotten this? And I think I walked away with my gas tank full. Like I was excited to go out and play for the whole year. That it was by the time Three Style came back around, it was kind of like, okay, I'm getting a little bit of empty,
Fill up the
and I
tank.
kind of need to be around.
Yeah.
Because we don't ever really get a chance. I play, with Paul once in a blue moon, but we don't ever get a chance to spend more than 3 or 4 days together.
And not 10 days in Poland.
Not yet.
Yeah.
But
Which is what we-
I think that that's what really started the whole thing, because I think as much as your job is to give music to the people, I think we kind of need that back.
I
Right.
agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need that back. They don't know that, but there's times.
But they
that
don't
you
know.
need
They don't
that.
know what we're going through per
No,
se.
at
And
all.
They don't know all the intricacies, and it's nice to be around people that you can ask those questions that you've been hanging on to about, like no one would understand what I go through, kind of thing.
Yeah. Also,
And
it's nice to just hang with everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Hang
it's
out
nice
and
to
not
kick
play.
it.
Like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
playing now. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I see Nina maybe once a year, but it's like, I'm playing in New York, like right now, bye.
Yeah.
And me and Mulligan live in the same city, and I've seen him for 5 seconds once.
Yeah.
Literally.
I think the
Yeah.
longest conversation we had was when with the first night here. We just
Yeah.
pulled up like, yo, finally we got 5 minutes together. Yeah.
So it's just nice.
But
like,
I
Yeah.
gotta say, Jeff, like because you are a DJ, like I feel that as well. We meet everyone from around the world, and you have just put together the most amazing selection. Like I'm a raver, like, and it's a bit of a snob, so I'm kind of like, it's nice to change. Like that's why I think Three Style was a big part of, like, it was kind of a personal development, because I couldn't handle a million scratch DJs.
Right,
like
right,
not
right,
not
yeah.
that I just
Yeah,
never
yeah.
been in that
Yeah, yeah.
situation
No, for sure.
before.
But what the beauty of it to me is, a DJ is a DJ at its core.
Yeah, yeah.
I think you start off DJing, and then you kind of pick the lane. Whether
Yeah.
I want to be an EDM, scratch
Yeah.
DJ, a rave DJ, a house DJ. But at the end of the day, your job is to take music
Yeah.
and play it for people to have a good time. So I think once you kind of strip all
Yeah.
of that away,
Yeah.
and we
Exactly.
start talking as DJs and stop taking the labels off, and that even goes into the musicians and the producers. It's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, are you a hip hop producer? Are you at the end of the day, you're a producer?
Yeah.
Whether you do what genre of music you do, when you strip it all away, you're just who you are. And I think
And if
coming
you're
to
not
a
open to
place
that,
That's
Yeah,
it.
Like-
it's refreshing. It's super refreshing to come to this and really hear that, especially from like the greats and legends, because we get so deep into the scene and traveling, and then the critics and the crowd and the audience, and they really do put those kind of labels on you as like oh, he's from the Bay, so he has to know how to do what
Yeah.
Shortcut did 25 years ago and change the whole game. And I'm like, nah, man, like I'm kind of like a house DJ. I'm kind of this, kind of that.
Yeah.
I just love playing music. And at the end of the day, like we're all vibing together.
And even that
it's just,
swap yesterday was so cool. 'cause,
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was one of those moments where I'd given you tracks, and then
Yeah.
you said yesterday, you're like, oh, I've been playing that Champion and Rico Dan track. And I'm like, wow, like that's so cool that you could pull something. Not that you wouldn't play it because it's a great song, but I've given songs to other people and they just don't do anything. The amount of zips I've given to people, they're like,
Yeah.
thanks. Like, never hear back.
Yeah.
But I know everyone in that circle, because they're all good DJs,
For sure.
are going to go through everything.
And everyone has a little something different to contribute.
Yeah.
And everyone has something to learn, share, and learn. Like
Yeah.
everyone's in that boat, and I think everyone knows that we all have something to do. So it's like they said the first day here, like just talk to the person who's next to you.
yeah.
If you don't know who they're here,
Yeah.
they're here for a reason.
Yeah,
They've
for
got,
sure.
Jeff has picked this great group of people. They all have like some superpower of some sort.
Someone asked, what's your magic power?
Yeah,
and that was like the best description. Now I've just been as like, what's your magic power?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it's funny because you know what? I learned a long time ago that, especially in music, if I want to know a good bass player, ask a good drummer.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because good people feed off of each other. You know, it never worked out when your aunt said, I know someone that can sing. Because my aunt can't sing. So
Yeah.
when she would send me somebody, you're kind of like, oh my God, this is terrible. So you kind
Did that happen? You met-
Oh yeah, plenty of times. Plenty of times. But I think, you know what, we got to a point that after the first year, I started picking up the phone and I would call Paul and I would say, hey, let me ask you a question. Name one if you could pick one person that you think would get it, now that you understand it,
Yeah.
who would it be? And he would say somebody, and we would put them on a list. So this
Yeah.
greatness of people that are here,
Wow.
a lot comes from someone else that's here. You know, I've asked people that in the back of my mind, I thought that they were going to say someone, and they didn't, which made me understand. Like, listen, I know what this is, and as great of a person as they may be, might not be the right fit. So you feel good because something like this, you feel like it's protected. Like it's not just protected by me. It's kind of like, listen, the more and more people come in, you build this wall up, and you're kind of like, okay, I gotta protect this because I don't want this to stop.
Right.
With that in mind, you're going to keep it, like, is it going to grow or are you going to...
I am pretty much at capacity
Yeah.
with people. This was the largest group we had, but we rotated some
Yeah.
people. And it also gets a little weird because you don't rotate people because they're not the right fit. You just rotate people that allow new people to come in. And I think sometimes when you don't call someone or they don't get the invite, it's kind of like, did I do something wrong? It's like no one has ever done anything wrong. Like it's
There's only so many trailers in Delaware.
and we have them all.
Yeah.
But it's just, you want to kind of just keep it rotating. I
Yeah.
mean, we've been talking about expanding in other ways because it definitely has gotten to the point that, I've been asked to do it in different places, and you don't really want to leave. I don't want to leave here.
Home.
But it's a lineup, like in a funny way, the people you've selected, it's like curating what is a little festival.
Yeah.
In the same way, if you're a DJ, you're not expected. It's not really. You don't play hard festival twice, or like you don't do it and that's just like the mentality
Yeah.
that we have, because you don't want to even overkill it.
Yeah.
That's
you
the
don't wanna
other
burn
thing
yourself
too.
out.
And you always want to be evolving.
Yeah.
And it can be a hard thing to do, but I think that the people that might not get invited back or whatever, I don't think they feel salty about it as much as it's like just what you create here is a bunch of relationships, and what Playlist ends up being is a meeting point for many people, and it's like this stamps like the beginning of some relationships or the reforging of others. And then you go from there. You might follow them on Instagram or get their number or trade files on email or something.
Yeah.
But then from that point on, they're always in your conscience, and you do this
Yeah.
little thing. Oh, when you get a song, I know Julio's gonna like this song. Let me just send this to Julio. and then he's going like, yeah, I like this. Now, I found this in the playlist. Here's this, and you just keep this, and you build so much together. And oh shit, I need a bass player. Okay, shoot, I'm gonna holler at Steve McKee or something like that, or not Steve, but hit up the guys from William Shakespeare. Like, can you guys play something on this? You know, and or whoever you meet, you get this like infinite contact list of amazing people.
Well, I don't know anywhere else where I would have like worked on a song with like Mama Fresh or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
And like we became
Right.
friends, and then now, you know, like she was telling me about her son. I'm thinking, I know, because I followed you on Insta. You know, I saw it all like before. You know, and then we can have. Last night we started working really late because we just talked for like a couple of hours with everybody,
Yeah.
and then. You know, and then even me tracking her vocals, and it was like you instantly get into that swing because you've got this relationship already. It's like, great take, do it again. Like, straight away, like, because I felt I'd crossed the barrier.
Yeah, I didn't think I would have probably never listened to Sunny and Gabe, like, just because it's not my thing. But
I
now that
listened
I've
to
worked
them
with
too.
her,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Love
this
her.
girl is crazy good.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like just watching her work and like, I can't wait to like till you guys hear the song. And like, just, I have so much footage of us recording. Like, just I haven't seen a vocalist work like that. Like, cause I've always worked with like dance hall people or like an R&B type singer. I've never worked with somebody like her who's just like, I need to take this shot and then I'm gonna scream, and then like I'm just like, oh my god, I love you. Like Ronnie Size was laughing so hard last night. He was crying and he had to like go outside of the trailer, and then he couldn't figure out how to unlock it. And he was just like trying to bang the door open, like, I have to get out of here, because we're like just all of us just drinking and like screaming into the mic. But yeah, like now I'm like gonna go and like listen to her entire all of their songs.
Yeah.
And as DJs, we can, because like we need these songs too.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
And then you can help share their music, and then they make good music. So it's like this connection between the people that are making the music and the people that are playing the music. And so it's great for both sides. It's like, oh, cool. I want to know cool new artists that are making awesome stuff and want to help. And then it's also, I want to know what the DJs are playing.
Yeah.
All these different stuff. Can you imagine the amount of different genres that we traded yesterday?
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
It's
So
like it's like
exciting.
it covered the whole entire music.
I don't think I heard a
world.
hip hop track here
Yeah.
until like the third day or fourth day, and it was all baile and just house and drum and bass and all this. And someone was like, play this De La Soul edit or something, and I was like, oh, I forgot what hip hop sounded like here. It was just all dance music and just crazy shit, you know?
Yeah, and it's a chance to share all those discoveries with each other, and I think we as DJs benefit so much from that.
For sure.
Like I know I'll get a folder. Like I'll send Paul some music, he'll send me some music. Julio sent me so much music, or gave me so much music last year. Nina gave me music at 3 Style that I know for me, I'll put 3 or 4 things in my set and my chest sticks out. You know what I mean? Like I'm kind of like, yo, you don't understand what's about to happen right now, but I do. You know, like every time I play that song, I think of Nina, because I remember her playing that song, and I remember in my mind just saying, "This is amazing! Oh my God, I love the way this feels. How can I share this with somebody else?"
I cannot wait to tell Champion that.
Yo, we saw.
Yeah, he's gonna die.
So Andre and I were playing a festival in Nizhny Novgorod in Russia.
Nizhny Novgorod.
Nizhny
Yeah.
yeah. We were chilled at A-Track, and we were at this beer garden bar thing like late night, and your Boiler Room from Philly pops up, and it was like, and we're just chilling at the bar, and it's like you open up with like Ab Joe or something.
Yeah.
Yo, talk about like your chest puffing up. We were like so wilding at this bar. They're like, oh, it's Jazzy Jeff. Like, yes, but the songs that he's playing and like the vibe that he was, it was such a trip to see, like you as like one of our legends and just playing that type of music and that the culture. Like you were super repping the culture right there, and to watch that in Russia was just like, that was like a magic moment in like the culture, you know, like.
Because it would be so easy for you to just do the same set. You
Yeah,
could do
yeah,
the,
you know?
the Jerry Seinfeld same 20 or whatever for like 20 years.
I just,
Yeah.
I extremely love what I do.
Yeah.
And the way that I keep it fresh is it can never be boring to me. And I love exploring new music. I love when I hear somebody play and they play stuff that you're just kind of like, wow, this is really moving. You know, because I've seen so many waves of music. You know, I started DJing when it wasn't categories. It's like you just played music, you know. And then hip hop came out. It's kind of like, you know, okay, you got labeled a hip hop DJ. you know, because you did hip hop. But it's kind of like before hip hop came, all I had was funk and soul, jazz, rock, and my crate, you know, and you just kind of follow along. But it's, you know, going through those barriers of me doing a defected mix and people showing up like mad that you won't play hip hop, and you're kind of like, but did a defected house mix, you know.
It was probably
So,
advertised too.
Yeah,
you know,
no, that's real.
but it's just to get to a point that new music is refreshing.
right.
Like you get excited. You know, it's, you know, this is what you do. So it's kind of like,
For sure.
you know, I love listening to everybody. Like, listen, the first time that I heard Jubilee play, we did a do-over in San Francisco, and I just sat in the back, and I was like, that was one of the best sets I've ever heard. Like,
Wow,
oh my God, like, but people don't think that somebody like me pays attention to that.
Yeah.
We're just
Yeah.
so
They
used,
pigeonhole you.
and
Yeah.
so used
Yeah,
to
yeah.
people like showing up and leaving. Like even at the end of our sets, usually, like it's kind of rare that
Yeah.
the headliner's there, or like whatever. Maybe
Yeah.
not the like it is rare. You
Right.
get that when I turned around after 3-star and I saw everyone was still there. I'm so used to people just
Yeah.
leaving,
Yeah.
and not because they don't want to be there. It's just a job sometimes.
Yeah.
And like we've all done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
yeah, it is rare. I remember that day because I was like, whoa, I think I did pretty good. And then you got up and like the energy, like that party, that do-over, like, because I think I had seen you at 3-Style, but years before, and I hadn't seen you DJ in so long. And like, oh my God, your set. That day was just like so good.
It's really weird going around the world and people talk about the boiler room set and just the stuff that you played, and that was kind of like, wow, I always play stuff like that.
Right.
But you don't
Yeah.
realize that because someone filmed it and posted it, gave the people who don't always get a chance to see you play.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, you know, everybody kind of looks at you like, oh my God, I thought you was gonna play 90s hip hop all night. You know, and it's kind of like,
No, but you go there and then you go somewhere else. And what did you expect?
I
2
don't know
hours? Yeah,
anybody on earth that likes one type of music.
No.
Yeah.
And I've always said that, like, you know, doing these festivals, when, you know, I just did Tomorrowland, and I felt like Tomorrowland had an other stage, and it was 25,000 people there.
Yeah.
You know, and it was kind of like, oh my God, it was great. You know, because I'm like, okay, listen, I don't ever criticize any genre of music, but I don't know anybody who likes one. I'm like, you got 17 stages. You can't have 17 stages of the same shit. You know, after a while, people want to hear other, and I think when you provide a little bit of everything, like I appreciate when it's kind of like I'm at a place and you get a bit of everything. Like that's why I really like 3-Style, you know, just for the sake that they demand that you play 3 different genres of music.
Right.
It's kind of like, yo, this is cool, like, because you're gonna play something, especially people from different parts of the world. You're gonna play something, you know, from where you're from that I've never heard before. That I'm like, oh my God. But what I like is then that turns around and you're like here, and then it's kind of like now I'm playing it, and somebody else is saying, "Where'd you get that from?" Oh man, Nina gave me that. That's from Australia. Like what? Australia? I don't know. It's kinda like,
Let me
you know.
get that.
Yeah, exactly.
I need that.
It's crazy though, because in dance music, like it's always like, well, what do you play? And
I just said club music.
you have to pigeonhole yourself sometimes, like
and with some of
business-wise.
those,
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
And it's really frustrating because I've never done that, but I
Yeah, because
consider
sometimes you
myself.
gotta have to lie to yourself, like, oh, I played this, even
Yeah,
though
like
to
oh,
yourself,
she plays techno.
but
Like
to you, you don't. That's not what you play.
no,
Yeah.
and it like it's such a thing, and like even for agents and like managers, like they have to be able to say like, oh well, she can play this club, like she like
This is the music program.
this is the music
Yeah.
which she plays, and then like they'll book another so-called techno DJ that you know personally that plays the same thing as you, and you're like, just because like you people don't
Their
understand that
brand
we're all here playing
Well,
everything.
the same thing
Yeah,
happened
yeah.
with me with the Boiler Room. I did one at the start of the year, and afterwards we got heaps of bookings because they're like, "Oh, we just had no idea what you played. Like
Yeah.
we thought you did." They thought I just did the kind of Australian sound, like trappy thing, and I haven't done that for like since it came out because I was over it by the time it came out.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, but how could you not? Like I've literally got 65,000 mixes out. I play all the time.
Like,
But
have you
it's that
ever
weird,
listened to the radio show I had for like 400 years?
Yeah, but it's
Same.
fine if it works. But even I resonated with how you said someone comes up to you and you're like, "How you doing? Like, where have you been?" You're like, "I've been 160 places in this year."
Well, was it your panel? I think you said like just keep releasing music no matter when you release it on your feed, because there's gonna be some people that have never heard it
Yeah.
before.
And I think
Could be a mix in 5 years or
Yeah.
like explaining to people my take on social media, it's almost like you have a store and you have to put something on sale every day.
right.
Like it doesn't have to be new stuff. Sometimes
Right.
you need to go back to your old catalog and just throw it on sale to let people know, like just in case you missed it. I did something a couple of years ago when we were selling the summertime shirts, and I was like, I'm curious, and I took a picture of all 4 of the shirts, and I posted it on Instagram, just like, hey, it's hot outside. Don't know if you want to, but go to the store and grab your summertime shirts. And I sent it, and Lynette handles the account. And 15 minutes later, she ran out to me and was like, what did you just do? And I was like, well, what are you talking about? And she was like, yo, we got about 250 orders. And I was just like, wait, we got 250 orders from a tweet
Yeah.
that you realize
Yeah.
of shirts that have been there.
Yeah.
But it's just like sometimes you have to let people know.
Yeah, no,
like,
that's real.
we all have mixes. We all have done really, really great things. And I think sometimes when you wake up and you grab your phone and you're like, I want to post something, but I don't really know what to post. Sometimes you need to scroll back through previous posts and just let me do that.
Nah, it's so
You
real.
really had to look from the outside, and sometimes that's so hard to do.
Yeah.
When you're so
Straight
consumed
up.
with your life. You're
Yeah.
working so hard towards your thing. You're going this direction, and the stuff that you can figure that anyone who knows you, especially your close friends, know. They know what you've done, but
they
then
forget.
there's always someone getting
Yeah.
on the
Right.
on the
Yeah,
bus,
it's like what's
getting on
the
train.
or there's pressure also, like waking up like, okay, what's the hot new festival you got to play out, the hot new tracks, this and that. But if music truly is timeless like that, like why not
Yeah,
just
I
drop
have
it?
no problem with playing the same song sometimes.
Yeah,
like if
for
they
sure,
work,
for
I'm
sure.
like, it's
Right.
fine.
No.
'cause,
Yeah,
like,
and they're
timeless.
banging.
Yeah.
You ride for those songs.
Yeah.
And those are,
Yeah.
You have some of those songs are songs that you broke or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
and,
for
and
sure.
So, and you, if you don't stand up for those songs, who
I
else is
know.
going to? So
It's
That-
like
but
the
that's
fun.
what the job of a DJ used to be. It was your
What
job
you-
to play something that no one knew, and I'm going to keep playing this until somebody catches on to it.
Right.
Like if you believe in it, like, we're the ones that know more about music than the people we're playing for. So it's really our job. If you believe in the song or you believe in something, I'm going to, sometimes everything doesn't catch the first time.
But
Right,
I think
right.
it's still like that, but it's a bit more multi-platform now. Like you
Yes.
can play it, but you can
Yes.
also go to tweet it. You also go to
Yeah.
take a photo
Yeah.
on Instagram. You also go to tell
Make
them
a
again.
video
You're like,
about
I
it.
really
And-
love
and
that
we were
new
ta-
set. Here it is again.
We were just talking about this, like not depriving the culture as well, right? So say you have this new joint that you want to share, play with somebody, like let that exist as it exists. Let that song breathe and live, because like just because you're not the one breaking it doesn't mean
Yeah.
that other people aren't allowed to hear that song.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you're not dropping it, I'm not gonna share this with Jeff because like he's gonna be the one to break it. It's like no, it doesn't matter.
holding
Like
the
shit,
song back.
you're
Do you
holding
like
you're
the
holding this.
song?
Like, do
You
you like
gotta
the
be a
song? Do you want to
sharer.
hear this out? Do you want to be able to connect with people on the same tip? Well, you're not gonna be able to do that if no one hears it.
I still
you know?
have
like,
people that don't share.
yeah.
It's like
yeah,
it's
it's so
still,
crazy.
Like-
Yeah, it's like
I'm like, really? But that artist will kill you if they
yeah,
find out.
and it's karma. It's like music
Yeah.
karma. That's what
Like
you're
I
saying.
didn't give the track to Jazzy Jeff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
And then
seriously.
I get it in reverse that, someone would be like, oh my God, that's great. And I'll be like, yo, give me a drive and I'll give it to you. And it's kind of like,
What?
yeah,
Right.
I'll give it to you.
I'm the
like,
same way. I'm
like,
like,
you kidding me?
Yeah.
No,
just,
that's real.
if I love it, like I had my Nightwave put out that song Acid Mouse.
Oh yeah. So
And
good.
like,
which I put in my folder. Everyone's got it.
yeah,
Oh, sick.
it's like the sickest song. And like, I don't know, she's a woman in the UK. She sends it to a million labels. Like, I think she was having like a little bit of trouble with it in the beginning, and then it got signed. And I played it on BBC. This is like the perfect example of like how these things work. I played it. I have a very small show on BBC Radio on like the residency. I played it on there. Black Madonna heard it, tweeted, "Oh shit, Jess is playing this." this Nightwave song, I love this, and then like 3 other people answered, and I like retweeted the Black Madonna, and we kind of like went back and forth. The next morning, I got a text from Maya Nightwave at 7 a.m. like all of my vinyl just sold out.
Wow.
I think that's the thing that I
Damn, that's
struggle with
crazy.
a bit is like I think everyone's quite caught up in their own careers
Yeah.
that they often forget that sharing is cool, and if you like something,
Yeah, like all we
tell,
need to do is a
like-
public high five about her.
yeah. And,
Yeah.
so,
Like-
and
yeah.
even with the label,
You know?
I get so many DMs to me about the artist, and I'm like, that Swick track's great. I'm like, this DM doesn't help me. Like,
Right.
post it,
Or just
Or
post
tell-
it or put it in
or
a
tell
mix or
him.
like.
like,
Yeah.
I mean,
But
I get it, but it's just,
I think that comes from a very old DJ culture of blacking out your label.
The white
Yeah.
labels,
and
yeah.
hiding stuff. And I kind of think, especially older DJs, things have changed. Because I think what I get a lot of resistance from are my veteran peers that don't understand me. That is kind of like, yo, listen, I do 160 shows a year because I play a little bit of everything.
Right.
You're kind of like, I don't do that. I'm not going to do that. I don't do, and I'm kind of like, you do understand that a DJ is a servant of the people. If you don't want to serve the people, then you're not going to get booked.
so you do get a bit of flack from,
Oh my God.
like from like people that came up with this.
Yes, because you know what it is? It's you have to evolve as a
Yeah.
DJ. You have to. I was one of the first people on Serato. Like I took that
Oh
bullet.
yeah, I remember that.
I took that bullet, like to go to a spot and set up. And this is before social media. To watch how that passed around the world, that I would show up and it would be at least 150, 200 people standing in the front like this. Because it's like,
Yeah.
how dare you? I don't understand. Like, I grew up with you, dog, and I don't understand how you playing on that computer shit and all the rest of this. And you would start your set off.
You're like, how's
and
your back
the
feeling?
people who enjoy the music couldn't get it because it was 100 haters in the front shaking their head. And you would almost have to stop the music, load up something, do a DJ routine, and they're like, oh shit, that's crazy. You did all that on the computer. And then back to the regularly scheduled program.
Right.
But it's just kind of like through every ounce of technology and every music shift, I still get that.
Right.
Let me play a trap record.
Yeah.
And
You played mumble rap.
really, like, are you serious?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, but
He's gone all EDM.
you're going to get that regardless. And it's just kind of like,
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you pushed through because it's really
oh
cool.
yeah, you have to, and the crazy thing is, listen, there mumble rap, there's new records that I love.
Oh yeah.
There are old classic 90s hip hop records that I hate. So, you know what I mean? I don't care
There's
what
no
the genre
100%
is.
good in
There
it.
was
Yeah,
trash
yeah,
back
yeah,
in the
yeah.
90s. Don't get it twisted. You like, that's the golden era. Yeah, it was some of that was golden shit too.
Yeah.
It's
You
like
know?
when people say the 1%. I saw this article like 1%. It's proven 1% of Spotify artists are the ones that succeed, and I'm like, isn't that always? Like, hasn't it always been the 1% of our like? That's
Yeah.
not new.
Of everything.
Yeah.
Also,
Right.
what's success?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, it is that confidence, which is what we were talking about off mic, like having that confidence to be in a place and do
Yep.
it. And like with 3 Star, because we're not scratch DJs, we had this moment where someone came up to us yesterday at lunch and like asked why we would be invited. And it was like one of the most empowering, like, well, this is why. Here. Like, and we're good. Like,
Yeah.
thank you. Full
Listen,
stop.
what was wild to me, I walked away from 3 Style in Poland and I said, Nina Las Vegas had the best set of all of us.
Should've told that
She
guy.
had the most memorable set of 3 Style.
Oh, that's
That
really
I'm kind
cool.
of like, okay, you know what? And you like that. You want to, you don't, there's, unfortunately not everybody has blinders on to genre and race. And, I'm kind of like, listen, someone told me a long time ago, if you do a festival for 10,000 people, 800 people can see you. So it's not about what you look like, it's about what you sound like.
Yeah.
So you always have to keep that in mind. It's kind of like, you know, I've known DJs to get on the radio and do body tricks on the radio. Kind of like, no one can see you scratch with your nose. Like, you just did that for 5 people and just sounded horrible for 5 million. You know, so it's really, you know, about pushing out the music. It's not, you know, DJ AM, you know, rest in peace, would always say, I really wish I could DJ on the stage with the lights out.
Yeah.
Oh my
Like,
God,
he's
that'd be
like-
my dream.
He's like, I just want to play music, man. I don't,
Yeah.
You know, it's trust me, it's a lot of pressure because especially now, as soon as they say that you're coming up and you play your first record, it's kind of like, okay, I'm not setting myself on fire. I'm not doing a DJ routine off of the first record. But the very first record, it's 1,000 people like this.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, you might want to put that down because
Yeah.
it's not really this exciting right now.
Just
Yeah.
dance.
You know?
Please just dance.
Yeah,
Like,
you have to wipe your face and get a drink of water
Yeah.
and lean over and talk, have a
For
mysterious
us, we put our
conversation.
lipstick back on. Like, so
I went on tour with a band this year, and which was great. It was with Keys and Crates, and they're great, and the tour was great. But the difference was, I was on a stage with lights in my face.
Oh, man.
Like, you know, they have EDM kind of fans, and I was also the opening act, which no one really is down with the opening act. You know, they're like literally looking at their watch, like, when is Keys and Crates going on, like securing their spot. And it was so rough because it was like, well, I'm not gonna jump up and down on top of the turntables. And I actually, like, for the first time started getting on the mic because it was really like the only thing I could do.
please walk up the
But
front.
it was like, can
Please.
someone just smile, please? I mean, you know, there were good crowds and bad crowds, but it was like super anxiety for me because I'm such a raver and I'm used to playing at 2 in the morning in a dark room with the lights off, and like this was all like at 8 p.m. at like a music hall somewhere. With like every light on me possible, and I could see faces of kids.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I could see who's yawning and who's talking to the other person, and which girl's taking a selfie, and like whatever. And I was just like, oh man, like this is what it's like to just have like everyone staring at you.
I mean,
Yeah.
I heard Diplo say this really funny thing about like playing those big crazy EDM festivals, and he's saying that like they get to the point where they outdo each other. So like he heard that he was before Iro Grime or after Iro Grime a couple of years ago, so they just spent like hundreds of thousands of dollars on the most ridiculous shit ever. Then he got gastro on the night, so like he was just so sick, but they're still like fine. Like, just the idea of how much effort these guys have to do to win that 800 people. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy and just so easy to not ever want at the same time. Like, I love the idea of a dark room.
Just please put me in a weird corner.
Yeah.
When I DJ'd the first night I was here for like every DJ with a lot of DJing skills, and it was like 100 million boiler rooms to me.
Right.
Like I was just like, cool, there's now 20 guys in here that know everything about DJing that I don't know, and looking right at me, and Zimmy has a camera on me and like can see my hands, can see like everything I do, and I was just like, oh my god, this is like I did it, but it was terrifying. Just
Well,
'cause-
even before that 3-star set, I was so nervous because my rider was CDJs, and I think it was like the only person.
Yeah, that too.
in, like,
Thank God for the hooligan.
I was like, they're like, definitely you need CDJs. I'm like, please, God, I cannot play if you bring out like, I have to have the setup. Do you want to like a remix? No,
No.
please, like just the really simple one. Like, and I was so nervous, and so I just did my thing, and it was fine
That was
because it
great.
was
Yeah.
the end of the day. But there's that slight awkward moment of being like, no, sorry, no, I don't scratch.
Right,
Yeah,
but
'cause
I
I'm
think,
like vibing out to a long part of the song, and like I feel like I'm not doing anything, but really, like that's how you DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think again that goes back to that thing where like we all have these questions we want to ask. We all have these sort of almost like fears of, oh, I'm not good enough for this thing, but actually just that's why you're here. That's
Yeah.
why you come, and that's why and like and if anything kind of boosts the confidence of your thing, you're like after that you're like, oh, that's cool, and someone comes up and like, oh, I love this song, like, or I so watch you play your set, and then afterwards, like the guy from Dub says, like, yo, like this is my thing. Like you
Yeah.
guys had this 5-minute conversation about your favorite music ever, or whatever, and
Yeah.
then like, and then it's like it spawns those kind of things, and then it says, then after that you're like, oh yeah, that wasn't so
Well,
bad.
and it
Like,
only takes one person. You know, like when you play a small,
Yeah.
it only
Yeah,
takes.
that's real.
Actually, like a friend of mine said, she was an MC from Australia, Maya Jupiter, and she told me I played one of my early gigs for her now husband, who's Aloe Brack, and I played before him, like when I was like 17. Like it was so good, and no one was there, and I was so nervous, and it was like this small dingy club in Australia, and she's like, it was cool to see you dance. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, because you never know who's going to be in the room. Like, and if you play for a full crowd, even though there's 8, like 8 people might have driven 5 hours to
Yep.
see you play.
Yeah.
And if you sit there and put your head down, you're going to disappoint 8 genuine fans.
Yeah, definitely.
Even if it's a room for 1,000.
Yeah,
Like-
I've always told myself that too. It's like if there's that one kid that's like wilding out and dancing and vibing and just like grooving, and there's like
Find that kid.
yeah, it's like
that's
that,
your friend. For
like
the night.
that's the epitome of like how you should be acting when you're going to one of
Yeah.
these shows, or
Yes.
like wanting to have a good time and be with your friends and wild out and party and
And
dance,
feed
like
that
and
person.
feed that
Yeah,
person,
yeah,
because honestly
yeah.
that's the type of vibe that's gonna
Spread.
spread. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And if you
Yeah.
if you have the chance, you can go out. Like I always try to thank that person. Like if they've been dancing
course.
from the start,
Yeah.
like really feeling it. I'm like,
sure.
You made my night
Give
so
them
much
water, give
better.
them a beer, give
Yeah,
them a hot
Oh,
yeah.
Oh yeah, I like pour champagne
Hot
for
sauce.
like.
Yeah.
I'm like, come here now, because they are your friend. And like my thing when I find that person in the crowd, I'm like, okay, as long as this person's happy, I'm good.
Yeah, straight up.
And like when that person then goes away, I'm like, shit. Where did he go? Is he sad? Like, you know, it's
Did I mess up?
yeah. Like, did he not like that? What is he like?
Black boy in the blue hat.
There's like little boys in the blue hats everywhere. Like, and sometimes when you go to different cities, and because I'm only in America so often, if one of them's missing from like my 3rd or 4th show, I'm literally like, have they outgrown me?
Falling off.
Like,
Is it over?
yeah. Boy in blue hat didn't even come today. I'm always just
That guy that answers every tweet.
Yeah.
Doesn't come to your gig. You're
I
like,
even like the kid that came to PS1. Like sometimes if he's not at my New York show, I'm like, "Are you all right, man?" Like,
Hey, man.
Just checking on you.
also, I love you. Where are you? You haven't called me.
so good. DJing.
DJ.
Yeah.
DJ. I think that's it's probably. We just sat here to talk about DJing. I think we've done it. So I think that wraps up the podcast.
Yeah.
And this
Oh,
breeze.
thank you guys.
Anything else? Anything
Breezes.
else anyone wants to add to what? Anything we
Oh, just thank you.
Thank you
Jeff.
again, Jeff. Yeah,
Oh,
for real.
absolutely.
So-
Thank you for
So
coming.
cool.
Trust me. It's as much as it goes out, it comes back. So
Yeah.
That's so
I
good.
appreciate it.
Shout out to Remix too.
Oh,
Shout out to
yeah.
Remix.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is he still here?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
Lynette and the whole crew. It's amazing.
Thanks, y'all.
Cheers.
Bye.